The Leafs play the Ducks again on March 30th. The Leafs play the Ducks again on March 30th. The Leafs play the Ducks again on March 30th. Let's go! It starts with an A and ends with anxiety. Off the charts levels of passion. That's just a nightmare. With you wherever you are. Welcome to LFR. Oh, wait, what's the order? Oh, okay, sorry, I forgot what to do after a win. Victory, puppies! That's $50 for the Humane Society of Durham Region, because the Leafs won. I forgot. I haven't done this since early February. That's right, for my birthday, I lose $50. That's fine, I'm cool with it. All the dogs and the cats and the birds and the bees. For the first time in a long time, Leafs win! 6-4 over the Anaheim Ducks, and Steve's gonna go for a little run through the field tonight. Oh, let's talk about it. Believe me, I want to talk about it. But first, the NHL Star Sticks meal is available now at McDonald's Canada. And hey, how's your collection looking? There are 7 mini sticks to collect, including Sam Reinhart, Sam Montembeault, Quinn Hughes, Cale Makar, Macklin Celebrini, Connor McDavid, and Auston Matthews! Which ones do you already have? Anyone want to trade? I'll even throw in some fries. Any takers? You want my fries? If you couldn't tell, I'm excited that the NHL Star Sticks are back at McDonald's because I loved them as a kid. It's a slap shot of nostalgia. So let me know what your collection's looking like, eh? Hey, I wonder what this one is. Let me look. Oh, look, it's Radko Gudas. Sorry, no, it's Austin. That's Auston Matthews. He scored tonight, and then nothing else happened in the game. The NHL Star Sticks meal is available at participating McDonald's Canada locations for a limited time while supplies last. Now, let's talk about the game. Dude, this could have been so typical. It was outrageously typical. Matias Maccelli scored, and he scored first. He's been scoring a lot lately, and scoring first a lot lately. Leafs got absolutely caved in the first period. Shots were something like 20-7. Cutter Gauthier scored a goal. It's a miracle he only had the one. Ian Moore had a goal. He's a defenseman playing wing with 3 goals heading into this game. Of course he did. Early on in the second period, Pavel Mintyukov snipes one wide open. No one's anywhere near him. And it's 3-1 Anaheim. The Leafs are about to lose their, what would this be? Their 8th or 9th straight loss. They're all blending together. And then what should have been a great story happened. Auston Matthews scored a goal. On the power play, no less. Matthew Nyes sends a beautiful pass Auston Matthews' way, and he gets a lot on it, and honestly, he probably didn't put that shot exactly where he wanted to put it. It goes through Lucas Dostal. But he was owed one! He's had like 50 shots, over half a dozen posts since his last NHL goal. You know, his last goal against an NHL goalie was a month ago, literally. Auston Matthews' last goal was against Team Germany at the Olympics. And even those 2 goals, because he scored 2 goals that game, were against a guy who has never played a game in the NHL and definitely hasn't played a game in the NHL this season, which means Auston Matthews' last goal against a goalie who has played in the NHL this season was in Team USA's Olympic opener against Team Latvia exactly a month ago to the day on February 12th. But he deserved it. He earned it. Not only did he score, but it was on the power play as well. The Leafs are still in this game. It's their every game second period, oh, I guess we'll play thing. And all of a sudden, this drubbing is a hockey game. And immediately after, Auston Matthews is kneed with one of the ugliest knee-on-knee hits you will ever see by Radko Gudas, who you might remember from getting suspended for an illegal check to the head, getting suspended for slashing, getting suspended for high sticking, and getting suspended for interference. And it looks like you'll be able to add to that a 5th suspension, this time for kneeing. Hey, that's a pretty rare accomplishment. It's rare to get suspended 5 times, and it's even more rare to get suspended 5 times for 5 different things. And who skates directly at Radko Gudas? Who makes a beeline for him? That's right, one of the officials, because they're like, well, surely someone's about to say something. No, they bloody don't! They just leave him there in a heap on the ice holding onto his knee! in a game that's already featured a little bit of the rough stuff. Hey, Michael Pezzetta got called up. That's fun. He earned it. He needed it. He would have been up here a long time ago, but he suffered 2 serious injuries over the course of the season. But he takes one right off the fotch, and he has a cut, and he looks awesome, and his parents are stressed in the crowd, and it's right off the opening draw, and he's fired up and everything. But this has always been the Leafs' problem. People are talking about the toughness and the snot and all that. This has been the Leafs' problem since Lou and Babcock were here, since long before it. They get these designated tough guys to do all of the designated tough guy things, but the team at its core, at its heart, at its soul is baby. Who was on the ice? Who else was on the ice? William Nylander, in the third period, it looked like he wanted one. Easton Cowan, the rookie, actually dropped his gloves and fought. You should all be humiliated. Brandon Carlo, don't even make eye contact with me. And Morgan Riley, who took some of the blame after the game, a lot of the blame. Jesse Blake was at the game, and here's the quote. Morgan Riley apologizes for not responding when Gudas hit Matthews. I didn't understand how bad he got him in the moment. I take full responsibility for not being the first one in there. I appreciate Mo taking ownership there. He was the closest Leaf. I will say, Anthony Stolars was right about Brandon Carlo from months ago. What was that, October? The Seattle game where he got ran over by Mason Marchment? Remember that? How many humiliations ago was that? Maybe you don't remember that. I'm starting to think, earnestly, Brandon Carlo's a plant. I think the Bruins knew what they were doing. I think he's a special operative or something. I don't know. What a disgrace. Brandon Carlo, in a nutshell, was later in the game when Easton Cowan fought Jackson Lacombe and the camera goes to the Leaf bench and you see Carlo going, yeah. Why the wasn't that you? At least Mo had the decency to be embarrassed. And here's what I would say to that quote. I know the Leafs won. Don't worry, I'm going to get there. Here's what I would say to that quote. It shouldn't matter what happened to Auston. It shouldn't matter. I'll give you a great example of a guy who, if he wasn't hurt, I think would have been an incredible Leaf. And I think he would have been a very important piece of a team that could have done some damage. I don't know about one, but done some damage. Nick Foligno. The Leafs paid the sun and the moon to get that guy, and I thought he was the perfect fit for that team. I know people wanted them to go out and get Taylor Hall. They needed a guy like Nick Foligno. If his back didn't give out, which you kind of need your back, things would have been different. Oh well, it happened the way it happened. But game 1 in 2018 against the Montreal Canadiens, John Tavares goes down. If I remember correct, he's knocked over by Ben Sherratt, and Corey Perry hits him in the head with his leg. All accidental. Well, not the Sherratt part. Sherratt probably should have been the one who got fought. Anyway, Corey Perry, I genuinely believe, and that guy's nickname is the Worm, but I genuinely believe that was an accident. And so Nick Foligno fought him. And some people were like, oh, that's not right. I don't believe, he shouldn't have had to stick up for himself. He didn't do anything wrong. Who cares? The 2011 Boston Bruins, who won the Stanley Cup, didn't wait. Anytime anything happened, it was 5 guys. And if one of them went down, it was the remaining 4 and the goalie. The Florida Panthers of the past 2 years didn't sit around and go, wait a minute, fellas, let's bust out the iPad and see if it was a clean hit or not. It's your captain laying in a heap on the ice. Look at him. That guy's going to be out for the rest of the season. You're talking about potentially career-altering injuries for the greatest player you've ever had, and you're sitting there waiting for an explanation. You grab the first duck that you can find and beat them until someone stops you! Steve, you're acting like a psycho! You're acting like a psycho by not checking out the abundance of evidence in front of you! This is what all the successful teams do! You mess with them, you get the horns! That's how it works! That's how it's always bloody worked! George Barros, who's the guy who's charged with sorting out this whole mess, is guiding the NHL towards more violence. Your uncle is wrong, and I've said this for a long time. Oh, hockey's so soft nowadays. Your uncle is wrong. It's been getting more and more violent for several years now. It might have gone down for a bit. It's not anymore. It's going way up. Yes, it is a faster game. It is a puck-moving game. It is a young game. It is a fast game. All those things are true. You need skill. You need finesse. You need players like Macklin Celebrini and Matthew Schaefer. You need to play with pride! And for the rest of the game, the Leafs didn't take any guff from the Ducks. In fact, they dealt it out. What drove me nuts was at the beginning of the third period. Someone was looking for a fight. Someone wanted a fight. You know who it was? It was Chris Kreider! How is a Duck the first one to want to go? And that was for cross-checking Calle Yarncroke in the face. They gave him 5. They reviewed it, and it wasn't 5 anymore, because of course. And I skipped over a bit. John Tavares tied it up on the power play. Hooray. William Nylander, hilarious that he's on a heater, a legitimate heater right now while the team is playing so poorly. He puts the Leafs up. Ducks get a power play, and Bo Grew shoves it down their throats. Bo Grew, third leading goal scorer in the American Hockey League, finally, after all this time, scores his first career NHL goal against a goalie. He had one NHL goal. It was in an empty net. He scores his first career NHL goal against a goalie and his first goal as a Toronto Maple Leaf against the Anaheim Ducks, who drafted him. Mwah! Knies gets the empty netter, Killorn gets a garbage time goal, and the Leafs win. Because they actually showed some of that snot that everyone was making fun of. Because they actually decided to show up for a hockey game. Hey, if you're cheering for a tank, this game might have been genuinely bad for that, because that's what the Leafs look like when they care. This is what I was telling you just a few videos ago. Are the Leafs really this bad? My answer was, no, they're not really this bad, because nobody is really this bad. The Leafs, their first 7 games after the Olympic break, were on pace to be something like minus 210 in goal differential. The Vancouver Canucks, who are last place in the entire NHL by a wide margin, are on pace to be like minus 70 or minus 80. Literally no one is as bad as the Leafs have been for the past 2 weeks, including the Leafs. They stopped trying, they stopped caring, and what you saw in the second and third period was a team that actually gave a damn, even when down their captain. And I tell you what, there's 16 games left, okay? There's 16 games left. Don't tank. Don't win games. I don't know. You need to invest in the future. And there will be no game more important to you investing in the future than March 30th against the Anaheim Ducks. Here's the thing. If the Leafs had gone after a Duck tonight and put them out a month, they'd be back in time for the playoffs. March 30th? March 30th? No. That's the right time. That's the right time. I don't care if Gudas is suspended so long that he's not playing in that game or not. I don't care if Radko Gudas is involved in that game. Don't go after Radko Gudas. Pick a Duck. Pick a Duck. Pick several Ducks. Make it so that they remember they played you when they're in the first round of the playoffs. And you're not going to be there. I know you're not going to be there. And you need to be angry that you're not going to be there. You need to be angry that your captain is not going to be in that game because he is almost for sure done for the season because he took him out and you didn't do anything about it. March 30th, there is no puck. First Leaf to touch the puck is benched. March 30th in Anaheim, there is no puck. That's great you apologize. Make it up to him. Don't make it up to the fans, who are humiliated to cheer for you, by the way, and are still here. If you have a new St. Pat's jersey, we're probably going to buy it. We're sick! Do it for yourself. Do it for your teammate of God knows how many years. Like, people are putting this on Treliving, and I want him fired. I want Brad Treliving fired. Morgan Rielly was drafted by Brian Burke. He's had Brian Burke, Dave Nonis, Lou Lamoriello, Kyle Dubas, and Brad Treliving. He's had 5 general managers, not even including the Dubas-Hunter interim. Let's not have some referendum on toughness and snot in the lineup. This guy has been a member of the Leafs organization since 2012. He's been to the playoffs 9 consecutive seasons. He knows what this type of hockey is like. And for him to not immediately jump in there for a guy who's been his teammate for this long was shocking. He apologized for it, and that's a great first step. Get in there. Instead of injuring your captain, imagine he's taking a slap shot on an empty net if you have to. Brandon Carlo should be embarrassed to ever make eye contact with Auston Matthews ever again. Make it up to him on March 30th. Pezzetta is in the lineup on March 30th. No ifs, ands, or buts. Because on March 30th, there is no puck. Brandon Hagel hit Barkov. He got suspended. He came back. The Panthers injured him. and got a suspension. Oh, and then eliminated his team. Next year, beginning of the season, they weren't like, well, Brandon, that was a fun saga in our rivalry. Glad we're all square. They went back at him again! And guess what happened the next time Brandon Hagel was healthy enough to be in a lineup for a Lightning Panthers game? They went at him again! And so the Lightning loaded up with heavies and fought back! That's where the league is at right now. Regardless of whether you think that's right or wrong, it is the truth. It is the present. Live in the present. The playoffs are around the corner. Everyone's getting chippier. The Lightning and the Sabres and the Oilers and the Stars. And no, you're not going to make it, but for every playoff team who rolls through or you play against, you are a warm-up game for them. Make sure the next time they play you, they leave that building wearing ice packs. There is no game on the Leafs' remaining schedule more important than March 30th in Anaheim. I hope Parros is in the building too. I do. He goes to games where he tries to, well, you know, I'm here, so we're gonna keep it under wraps, right? What are you gonna do? Nothing matters. Nothing matters. Just today, the NHL took the decision where they were like, hey, Ottawa Senators, you did something illegal and screwed over another team in a deal, so we're fining you a first-round pick. You waited a little bit of time. You waited until after the trade deadline, sneaky, and then you said, actually, never mind. Never mind. You get to have your first-round pick. There are no rules. Nothing matters. Whatever fines your players get, whatever money loss from suspension your players get, just pay them. Steve, that's against the rules. What are they going to do about it? The rules don't apply. What are you talking about? If a player gets suspended, then play them. Play them the next game. What are they going to do? Cancel the game? Say no to millions in revenue? Shut up. He's playing. Drop the puck. Hey, you can't play tonight. Your team's spending $150 million against the salary cap. That's illegal. Who cares? We're playing anyway. Shut up and drop the puck. Because nothing matters if nothing matters. Okay, I'm getting away from it. Let me read you one more quote, okay, before we go. This is from the Scores recap, and it has a Mark Masters quote and also Jesse Blake in there. Maple Leafs head coach Craig Berube called the hit a dirty play, you think, per TSN's Mark Masters, and noted Matthews will undergo further evaluation Friday. Berube was also irked by his club's lack of response to the play. We should have had 4 guys in there doing something about it, Berube said, according to SDPN's Jesse Blake. I thought they responded in the third, but we all would have liked everyone to get in there right away. You had a good third. Great. You won the game. Great. The way you make up for what happened to Auston wasn't having a good third period and winning the game. The way you make up for it is March 30th in Anaheim. And I'm going to hammer that until the game arrives and the game is done. I don't care if the Leafs lose that game 9-0. March 30th in Anaheim, there is no puck. What if George Parros actually suspends him for 10 games? Damn, that's crazy. Thanks, George. March 30th in Anaheim, there is no puck. Regardless. It's what teams worth caring about do. And you want to be one of those one day, don't you? So, my friends, that is it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. Tell all your friends. March 30th. If you don't have a calendar already, go out and buy one and then circle it.